Hello, welcome. Mojang just released the latest snapshot and we have custom dimensions and world generation. More on that later. The first thing you'll notice is the new loading screen. Mojang has a new name.
Play is at the heart of Mojang, even in our name, which means gadget in Swedish, by the way.
They also plan to experiment with additional games. Here is a shortened version of their trailer that I've put together for you.
We're planning a feature film, preparing an epic live show, and playing with ideas for brand new games. We want to celebrate all of these with a new look.
Now let's get into the custom dimensions. It says in this snapshot we're adding support for custom world settings and dimensions. It is considered experimental and unsupported, and worlds using custom settings will be clearly marked as experimental in your worlds list. Additionally, it is now possible to import and export these settings. So the new functionality allows you to build up a set of custom settings and then export them, and send it to someone else and let them import it, or can be imported into a different world of your own, which didn't work out for me. Super flat preset strings no longer support structures. Instead, they are now stored in a common format that applies to all worlds. And buffet worlds can no longer be created from the server.properties file in a server, but better support for custom world creation on a server is coming soon. In a recent snapshot, redstone functionality was changed. It would only power blocks that it was actually visibly connecting to. New in this snapshot, by right-clicking on the redstone, it toggles between a cross, which is the old texture, and a dot, which is the texture that you will see in 1.15. A dot of redstone will not power surrounding blocks, whereas the cross will. So not only is this an aesthetic change, it's also a functional change. There was a new disable multiplayer command line option. When used, the multiplayer button is disabled in the world. There was also a disable chat command line option. When used, sending and receiving online chat is disabled. Going back to the Nether, piglins no longer walk around when they are admiring gold, they just stand there instead. And if you hurt a piglin while it is admiring an ingot, the ingot will now disappear. It'll put it away and attack you. There was also an increased chance of ores generating in basalt deltas to balance against the reduced amount of netherrack in the biome, or the lack of netherrack meant it was hard to find them. I wondered, would this make netherite more frequent in basalt deltas? It turns out even if it is more frequent, it's still harder to mine because you've got a whole bunch of basalt in your way when you're trying to mine for it. It's not really practical. And Mojang has introduced a bug in this snapshot. As you'll see, there's a graphical issue on the menus. I'm sure they'll fix it next time. Lily pads are now considered junk fishing loot rather than treasure, which means that even if you have a AFK fishing farm, you can still get lily pads. The spread players command, which you can use to teleport players in a multiplayer world, has been adjusted so that you can control the height of the command as well now. Note the max height, which specifies the maximum height positions of players. The max height is only applicable if you put the under word there. You prevent people from spawning above that height. This is useful, for example, people are in the nether and you do not want them to spawn on top of the nether roof. The locate command now specifies structure names in lowercase. If a non-player entity was the first to enter an end portal on a world, the obsidian platform would not be generated, and therefore the entity would fall into the void. This has now been fixed. Interestingly, you can feed chorus fruit to foxes. When a fox ate chorus fruit, the subtitle said player teleports. This has now been fixed. Even though parrots imitate most hostile mobs, they did not imitate hoglins, zoglins and piglins. This has now been corrected, and parrots will imitate those as well. Thanks for watching. Parrots did not imitate hoglins, even though they parrots, hoglins, parrots